So this is Raby Castle. This is pretty much complete darkness. The only light you're seeing is light pollution. Yet again, it's a reflection shot. We haven't done a astro workshop at Raby Castle for a while. Maybe we will in the next year. But what I like about Raby is it's dark and you've got a castle. But more than that, the two ponds, if you've been to Raby Castle before, are almost always still, in contrast to Burnup Reservoir, which is almost always choppy. And when you get nice still water, you get lovely reflections. So this is a bit of a camera trick. I said before that stars trail. You've probably seen star circle shots before. If you want star circles, you must point your camera north, because right in there is Polaris, the pole star, which is as close as we get in the night sky to north. It's slightly off center if you look, but not that it matters. That's where north is, and you're going to get really tight concentric circles. So to achieve this, what I had to do was shoot for about 3 hours, and it's something like 600 photographs, which was stacked in Photoshop. Photoshop's pretty good at stacking if you've never tried that before, just with a blend mode. Notice they're not complete circles because it would take 24 hours and you'd get some daylight in between. But there are enough stars at a dark sky site for the circles to join up. And that was a shot after something like 6 workshops at Kellett, where I kept saying to people who were out of ideas, go behind the wheel, photograph the wheel, point north, and get a wheel in the sky as well. To the point where I just thought, oh, you know what, I'll do it myself. So I went up there one night. For a while, you know, if you're not used to going out in the dark, it will be a bit odd. But you soon realize that actually there's nobody there for a start. And that's one of the beauties of photographing at night. There's nobody there to get in your shots unless you take people with you. I didn't have to use torchlight because that's next to the A689, which there weren't many cars that time of night, but there were enough headlights over 3 hours to light every part of the wheel up. And the few shots where there were really bright highlights or something went wrong, I just took them out when I was stacking. That's Comet Neowise from 2020. That was probably during one of the lockdowns or in between them, which was just below the plough. If you went out to look for Neowise, it was a bit dodgy trying to find it with the naked eye, but with a camera or with a telescope, it soon became bright enough. Comets, if you didn't know, have 2 tails, and you can just about make the 2 out here. And to achieve that shot, so I talked before about how you get the moon to look big behind things in the landscape or behind landmarks. You need a bit of magnification. So what I had to do, if I'd shot with my 24mm lens, there wouldn't have been much of Neowise to see. So I borrowed on that night, I think it was a 135mm lens, which also went down to f2.8, also a Samyang, and that's how that one was shot. So Jessica asks, when you say shot for 3 hours, do you mean you set it to take X photographs consecutively? Yes, I did. So here's the thing, Jessica. So a lot of people who photograph trails will do a continuous exposure. And you've got to be real careful about that, because the problem is you get one plane through the sky, you get a train of Starlink satellites coming over, they may only be there for a few seconds, or you get car headlights in the wrong place at the wrong time, or you knock your camera and it shakes. That's pretty much the whole shot ruined. So instead, what I do is set it for the maximum I can get. You know, it doesn't matter as much about trailing when you're going for trails, but I would go for like 10 seconds, 15 seconds, knowing I can normally get a 13-second exposure and it looks good. And then I stack them. So you get a little bit of a gap when the camera resets itself while it's right in the image and the shutter's opening again, but not much where you'd notice it. So that's how you do it. You take lots of short exposures and you stack them. And that means that if something bad happens partway through, all you lose is 10 or 15 seconds and you don't notice it. So I hope that makes sense.